Hi, welcome back to Talk About It Tuesday with Boss Lady. This is where we sip the tea and spill the juice. We talk about everything from the streets to the sheets. We're back again with Tamika Burton, Christy Lachey. Last week we spoke with her and she was telling us about some things with trauma, dealing with her trauma in her life. And she's here, part two, to tell us a little bit more, go into a little bit more detail. So we're here to listen to her story. If anybody wants to ask her any questions, all the details are in the description. And even if you want to come in live, that's totally fine. So, Miss Actress, T. Lachey again.
Hi everybody, how are you? Well, so the last time that we were on, we did speak about basically just the trauma that I experienced in my life and just how like the different ways or the coping mechanisms and everything. There are a lot of different parts and there are a lot of different reasons why I tell my story. I have severe PTSD, and right now that PTSD comes from my family. My family is really pissed off because of the fact that I'm telling my story. But as a business owner, as a mom, as just the person, I can't tell my story without telling the truth about my parents because people ask. And the things that happened really happened. So I can't pretend they didn't just because people feel some type of way. But I am actually telling my story because of the fact that, like, all throughout my life, I didn't ask. And for everybody that didn't get the gist of the story, um, I am a four-time published author with Amazon and Kindle, senior graphic designer of my marketing and advertising company, as well as the founder of Awake, a warrior against killing the sting. And I'm an advocate for children of abuse and abandonment because of the fact that I think about all of the children on a regular basis that were the victims or the witnesses to child abuse or child sexual abuse or any type of abuse. And they went and they told people and nobody did anything about it. And I never thought in a million years as a daddy's girl that I would that I would lose my father to child molestation. And people have more conversations with me about being quiet than they do trying to see how I am coping without having my father.
Right.
I mean, and then people are like, "Oh, well, no, you can forgive that, and things happen." It's like, okay, well, wait a minute. I don't know what kind of world these people are living in, but that's not something that you can just say, "Ooh, I forgive," because especially if you know that there's a possibility that they're still outside messing with children. And like I have had so many different instances within my situation that actually made me really go out and tell my story. Just like with me walking in at 12. From 12 years old until 22. I say from 12 to 15, my grandmother Lizzie Hayes was trying to do something about it. That's the only person that I can remember and my mom and my grandmother and my mom. They were the only people that were actually trying to do something. But after my grandmother passed at 15, when I was 15, that from 15 to 22, everybody acted like nothing ever happened ever again. It was like the one person that was trying to do something. Mm-hmm. Once they were gone, it was as though nothing ever happened.
Right.
And so from 15 until 22, I'm watching all of these movies that are showing that this is wrong. And then when I started watching movies and I started seeing all the families that was hiding it, and I knew, and on the inside of me, I'm like, okay, this is not right. This is crazy. I'm looking at how the world is bashing gay people, and I know that the majority of my friends who are, and the people that I know, were sexually abused by other people in their family that were not supposed to be messing with children. So like I'm constantly trying to figure out like, okay, so how are y'all having so many conversations about all of these people who are gay, what they're doing, telling them where to do, where to go, but you're not having the conversations about the grown people who were having sex with children when they weren't supposed to.
So is this something that just happens in your family? Is this something that's repeated? I mean, is this the first person that you know of that's done something like this within your family?
No. That's where it becomes alarming. And I just because of the fact of experiencing the abuse, I do have a cousin that actually got in trouble for that, but he was actually more honorable in the area of, okay, I did this, I'm sorry. But he did reveal that he was touched or he was abused as a child. And regardless of who it is that ever tries to say, oh, I don't know. Well, we actually love each other. We carry the same love that our grandparents gave us, and we all talk to each other. And it's one of those things where, like, when people get to a point where they're trying to hide stuff, they'll really try to make you seem like you're crazy. Just because of the fact that they're so adamant about hiding their indiscretions or whatever. Like I said, I have made a lot of mistakes, and I hold myself accountable for my children. But when I tell you that my family goes out of their way to try to destroy my name and the legacy that I'm trying to build for my children, just because I told what I saw. And my whole focus of doing it is to make sure that all of the children of abuse and abandonment understand that, yes, what you saw was wrong, but you're not wrong for healing out loud. Nobody is allowed to hurt you, make you feel some type of way, especially me knowing the time that I was raised in. Everybody that I knew and grew up with, we were all at church. They gave us a God that they told us that was supposed to protect us from all of that. And I really believe that. And it's a lot of people outside that's really lying on a regular basis, talking about their relationship. That's neither here nor there with me. But I do know that I walk in God's authority. And like I said, I don't claim to be better than anybody else. I hold myself accountable for my children. But that right there, no. There has to be more conversations in the realm of what's really happening there, because there are a lot of lives destroyed. There are so many amazing people that's basically hiding behind their lights because they've been trapped in other people's secrets. And these people are so wicked that they will have you second guessing yourself and making you feel like you're less than because you're trying to go outside and you're trying to build a life for your family. But they're trying to destroy you just to make sure that they continue to be able to control you in that area of making sure that whatever they've done doesn't come out. My whole thing is just saving the children. We all grow up, we become adults. It is unfair to be outside building for your children, intentionally loving your children, intentionally being there. And then you got a whole family of people that's going outside and they're trying to destroy you, trying to slander you just because of the fact of them not going outside and caring enough to make sure that, hey, let me make sure that the family is okay. Let me make sure that the kids are okay.
Right.
Our grandparents, from what I saw, from my experience, because what's weird, they like to call me and try to give me bad stories in regards to my grandparents. Well, they this and they that. I'm not even here for that.
Right.
All I know is I saw people being protected. We had a wall of protection, and now we don't have that.
Right.
And for everybody who actually love God and love each other, still carry the spirits of the elders or carry the spirits of whoever gave you God. Can we turn this sideways? Yeah. We'll do that.
No.
I guess you gotta be able to like the setting. Let's see.
Yeah, right.
I know,
Okay,
right?
so are you seeing that your father's not the only one that's done this before? Are you the only one who's being chastised for, that's like we were speaking about, healing out loud?
Yeah, basically. I'm the only one that's brave enough.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse for my children to lose and fall because of something that I was born into. It's a whole different movement when you're born into it and you didn't ask for it.
Right.
And like it wasn't a coincidence that my grandmother and my great grandmother kept telling me to make sure that I didn't allow them to steal my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, with all of that, I didn't understand that movement until I started to get older. And I'm like, okay, I just know on the inside of me, I don't want to be bad. I don't want anything bad. Mm-hmm. It destroys me on a regular basis not to be able to talk to my father and have that relationship. But like I said, the people don't understand throughout the timeline, the information that I received. Like I said, but on the first show, when I was 22, I made him tell me that what I saw was real because it had gotten weird to the point where the cousin that it had happened to was calling me, asking me how he was doing. Him and his wife, and he's asking me how her and her husband are doing. And I'm like, well, what in the world is this? Yeah. Because I can't act like this is not something that happened. Mm-hmm. You know, and being a child, I'm like, okay, wait, I'm supposed to see something like that, continue living and acting like this is okay as though it's not hurting me. No. Like I said in the last video, I did take him through therapy. He went to therapy for me, at least. He was reporting back to me and making me believe that he was. But I put everything on pause and I really started talking out loud again when his wife had just called me out of the blue. When his wife called me out of the blue and said that a woman knocked on her door in regards to him and a 15-year-old girl, that's when I knew. I'm like, okay, something, this is more than what I imagined. Now, keep in mind, moving here, I think 85, 86 from Washington State, the only thing I ever heard in regards to that family was about incest. Like, this is something real. Mm-hmm. So, like, if I'm constantly hearing this, and I'm like, okay, what? What in the world?
Within your family?
Within my dad's family.
On your dad's side.
On my dad's side of the family. Make sure I'm clear on that. On my dad's side of the family. It was crazy getting older and cousins actually trying to have sex with me type thing. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the abuse goes deep. And the only thing that I saw, I don't see this as, ooh, let's go outside and talk about people and make them feel bad. No. Awareness needs to be made for everybody that's not okay with that.
Right. So how is you and your father's relationship?
There is, after my aunt passed like in 2020, and when he started attacking me, because like regardless of what it is that goes on in life, I hold myself accountable for everything, every decision, emotional decision that I made, bad, emotionally charged, bad decision, whatever. Mm-hmm. It was weird to me when he started attacking me. He started attacking me because I'm like, okay, now I don't understand how you okayed me to write the book. You told me that what I saw was real. I've been experiencing and carrying all this backlash for you all of my life. And for you to turn flip just because you don't want to hold yourself accountable or you still want to save face to whoever. Now you don't get to do that. Because of truth and reality. Now he actually, like for me and my one of my older brothers, it's just like, I guess because we live in truth and reality. Mm-hmm. He attacked us at that time verbally. And my whole thing is like, I'm really stopped being invested in the family when I found out he was a child molester and everybody was okay with it. I mean, basically, I have set up here all these years, and every time that I mention it again or I reiterate it, well, no, you got to forgive. That is not a moment in life where you sit and you try to convince somebody to still be a part of a family of people that is okay with grown people having sex with children. That's not okay. And the scariest part is whenever they go for a long time, like it was 30 years. Mm-hmm. So basically you're grooming these children. Right. You're grooming them to the point where they're not saying anything. Mm-hmm. Because in their minds, you're their boyfriends or you're their girlfriends. And it's crazy because like that's how they operate. Mm-hmm. They'll walk around and they're treating you like I remember growing up, and it was weird because it was almost like her operating like she was our second mother. Mm-hmm. And I was jealous for a lot of different reasons. I thought as a daddy's girl, I'm like, wait, you trying to take my daddy? And that was not the case at all. Right. That happened to be something else that was going on. But these are things that I saw. These are not stories that are being made up on anybody. These are things that I saw. These are things that actually happened that I didn't ask to. Mm-hmm. And once I started seeing that, oh my God, it's a lot of people around the world going through this. Let me get the word out to the children of abuse and abandonment that, hey, just because your family tells lies about what it is that you saw and that happened to you, mm-hmm. you can still go outside and live a real life. I am a writer. I'm not quite sure if this is a word, but I did orphanize myself. And if it's not a word, I created words. We can make up doggone right, because we write books just like the man that wrote the dictionary. Thank you. God gave us the gift of scribe, and so we use it. But yeah, I orphanized myself. I went out and I created a family for my children just to make sure that they didn't have to go through the dysfunction of people really believing that it's okay for people to have sex with children and they just get a slap on the hand. No. My cousin that did actually serve his time. He loved his child enough to go on and say, hey, this person did this to me, and this is why this happened. Mm-hmm. And he got his therapy, got his healing. That's all. That's just like I'm sorry. But the I'm sorry was for his daughter, for their healing. You go outside and you do that for your children if you actually love them for real. Because I'm quite sure for all you older people who went through that, I'm quite sure all of your abusers are dead. And if they're not, there's still not a statute of limitation on abuse. But it's all about what you're willing to carry. And I'm not willing to carry that dysfunction because my children didn't ask to be here. And I didn't ask to be here either. And so if my God gives me free will and he gives me the gift of choice, I'm going to choose God and I'm going to choose my light. And I'm going to actually choose to go outside and show the other spirits of love and light hey guys, we don't have to react and respond like those aggressors outside. Those who chose their darkness, it's not hard to see.
Right.
And if it's something that you know that is not right according to God, it's okay for you to talk about it. Nobody can do that you can't talk about it. And if they tell you, if they tell you that you can't talk about it and they try to silence you, those are not your people. If you know that you are love and light and family is your only focus, there are a whole bunch of family people outside that does share your blood, because we are all one blood under God and Christ, regardless of what everybody else is talking outside.
Right. So we've heard about your father. What does your mother have to say about the situation?
My mother apologized for not protecting me.
How long did it take her to do that?
This was last year. It was last year. The only thing that my mother is trying to figure out that I know of whenever I talk to her is that everybody's trying to figure out why I still want my dad. But my dad actually loved me. My dad actually protected me when she was ugly to me. Like that really happened. And we danced together. We sang together. Like he's the reason why I love Star Wars and Star Trek. He's the reason why I am the tomboy that I am. And like, I don't have any good memories of my mom, because all I remember is just her mad at me because I look like his mama. And I don't know what happened, because it's been weird having these conversations with all of these people all of these years. I don't really know all of these people.
Right.
I came from Washington. That happened. I didn't have an opportunity to really get to know anybody, but I did learn them according to their hearts and according to the fact that this situation was real bad and they didn't do nothing about it. Mm-hmm. There's no judgment or nothing like that. Everything is just logically.
Do you think a mother's first instinct would be to protect her child?
Yes.
From whoever, it doesn't matter who it is.
No.
How many of you are there?
I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers.
So has your father ever touched either of you, or ever tried to groom either of you?
He attempted. There was a time that he did attempt when we were before him and his now wife got together. We were at her house, and he had called us all in the bathroom. I remember he had called my cousin first, and they were in there for a while, and then he had called me. And when he called me in there, because of the fact that, like, I never in a million years ever thought of him in that type of way, because he's such an awesome man. So I'm like, when I went in there and he reached for me and he was telling me that he was talking about how I was developing, I knew from watching them Tuesday night movies the Monday night movies on NBC that he's not supposed to be doing that. And because I loved him, I was like, I'm not about to let my daddy put himself in no situation where he's gonna get in trouble and I don't have him no more. That was my thought as a child, because I love my daddy. But I didn't know that was leading up to that moment.
Right.
You know.
Nothing. You hadn't heard anything from your siblings or anything. So.
No, not. It's just so much stuff going on, and abuse is so sensitive.
And it is.
It is. I mean, like, these people
It
shouldn't be, but they sure try to make me feel like I'm crazy or I'm lying. And I'm like, no, I've always been the sweet and nice person. Mm-hmm. I'm always the happy person. So, like, for you to sit up here and try to make me out to be a bad person just because you're trying to hide stuff, I can't do that.
No.
I can't do that at all.
No.
And like I said, I do have PTSD, but it's only in the area of y'all better stay away from me. You stay away from me and my children, because it's been trauma for like 30 years of this fake ass stuff. And like I said, like it's just been constantly sabotage. I'm constantly going through real stuff. It's been crazy.
I know for a time, your two oldest children lived with your parents, correct?
Yes. From when I was going through kidney failure.
Exactly. So while you were sick and your parents had your two older children,
For my mom.
your
They were with my
mom
mom.
had your two older children. Has there been any reports from them of anything like that happening to them?
No, because one thing I do know is that my mama is gonna protect them. I understand.
Why protect them and not you?
That's always been my question. but it's one of those things where it wasn't real protection. The ugliness, the meanness, that's a whole nother movement. Like everybody have a lot of opinions in the realm of him and child molestation, and I know that is all wrong. But like I said, that when it comes to bullying, I didn't have to go to school for that. I did not have to go to school for that. It's almost been like baby daddies don't bother me. Baby daddies don't bother me. They try to pull me into different crap that they've seen women intertwine in all their lives, but it don't faze me because my mom was like she was like the baby daddy that from hell, I say. I mean, just trying to get myself together, trying to get on my feet, trying to get everything together. And it was constantly, I mean, like at first, I thought I was thinking tough love, but I'm like, my grandma wasn't telling me to protect my life for no reason. It was almost trying to break me or trying to not believing that you can be a happy person, problem solve, and still get things done. Like I was raised by women. I saw women of honor. They're building houses. They're building porches. They're doing every single thing. They're chopping the wood. They're doing everything that the men were doing. So why would you not think that I'm gonna go outside and be great? Especially if somebody tell you that your child is diagnosed precocious at 3 years old. I'm already knowing what's going on. I thank God from whom all blessings flow that I got that diagnosis at 3 because I had sense enough to go and research. I've been healing myself for 30 years is what the people don't understand. The people keep on talking about, oh, well, you know you're going to lose your relationship with your family if you do that. These people have been kicking my tail for 30 years just because I walked in. I didn't want to walk in on him. Out of everybody on the planet, him, that's my everything. You know, my everything. But that's something that I actually have to live with, that I have to deal with. But like I said, these people ain't never asked me. Not one time. Nobody asked me what happened. Nobody. And it was crazy because right after, I was thinking that I was being a blessing by rescuing my cousin. And like right after, I'm talking about right after it happened, I think before I even was able, I didn't say anything when I was there because I was scared, like a Lifetime movie. I was afraid to say anything because I thought he was going to hurt me because he was military. But I never thought in a million years that she would fight me. She was fighting me like she was mad at me. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand it until I was in my 20s, and they was both asking me about each other. And that's when it became a whole nother movement. I'm like, wait a minute, it's weird. I can't sit here in this world without my protection, which was my grandparents. Everybody gone, and I'm talking about like all these people are really coming at me like a lynch mob. Nope. And all I can think about is all of the other children of abuse and abandonment that have walked in at the wrong times and changed their whole lives, not thinking that, oh my God, I'm thinking, ooh, okay, my family is gonna be there. They're gonna protect. Everybody's gonna look out. Oh my God, that was the total opposite.
Sometimes the biggest bullies are in the family.
Yes. Yes, and that's why I never had to go outside. I'm talking about when it comes to strangers, people say stranger danger, no. So I'm not afraid of anybody outside. I'm afraid of God and what God will do. But when it comes to these strangers, I don't got to go outside to find anything, any hurt, any pain, or anything. I experienced all of that in my family, and I did not ask for that. I'm not looking for anybody's sympathy, empathy, or anything because I did not ask to be there. So these people are sitting up here, they're trying to make it seem as though, oh, well, you just trying to get attention, or you this and that. No, this is not supposed to be happening. Period. Regardless of how you feel about it, what you think about it, it's not supposed to happen.
I know I asked last time about the children and how it affects the children now. But if you could just talk about some of the things that you because you don't like
Ever since, man, being on this journey, homelessness, I'm talking about constantly. I cannot, that's why I can't sit under these people's secrets because my children are really experiencing homelessness. Back to back to back. I'm constantly like when I am different places and I have to come back home, it's one of those things where it's like these people, they see them as such good people that they get in people's ears and a lot of people don't help. Or, they there's always just something just having them there in my circle. And like I said, I don't want them anymore. I'm okay. I'm okay with everybody making the decisions that they make under God's free will. If you choose darkness and that's where you want to be, I still love y'all, and that's fine. I was hoping that we all were able to go to heaven together. But once you make your decision into darkness, and I'm not going over there, it is what you made it. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to continue to climb. I'm continuing to build a family for my children. Just out of all the people who love God and who really are looking to be parts of families, just so that they can have authentic people around them.
Right.
Yeah.
Any more information that you would like?
Well, let me see. I was reading something. I've been reading a few things, and it's crazy because the people, they always talk about girls being molested, but they don't talk about boys. And I was reading where it said 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys are victims of sexual abuse. But the people think it's funny whenever the boys are outside and the older women are hitting on them and different things like that. Everybody don't like that.
And
it's not cute at all. And you never know, especially in the Black community, you never know who it is that has been molested, who it is that's been abused in any way because they've taught us to keep secrets. That's the whole focus of the whole unlearn movement. Unlearn and relearn. That is the movement because we've been taught a lot of bad stuff that actually stems off of slavery, when they were sitting up here trying to make us believe that it was okay for us to be going through this. No, anything that looks like dictation is the devil. Because God gave us free will. Everybody got rules and stuff, and we got laws and things we're supposed to follow under God, the 10 Commandments. I mean, like he gave us commandments.
And those who are truly enlightened know that there are actually more commandments.
Exactly. But that's what we're supposed to be looking for. Not what it is that this world set up for, that the world set up for our reality. Everybody's outside living in other people's realities, and they're following people instead of God. There's more protocol over humanity than anywhere, and for all spirits of love and light, pay attention. I don't want people in your life so bad and strangers around your family so bad that you're not focused in on whether they belong to God or Satan, because that's a real movement. It really is.
Leave these children alone.
That's it.
Period.
While for all you families out here who are giving a hard time to the witnesses and victims, I'm not going to stop saying, I'm not going to stop reiterating. Talk just as hard to the child molesters and the abusers as you do to the witnesses and the witnesses and the victims. Chastise them. Since you want us to sit up here and heal in silence, holler at them real loud behind closed doors. Because I bet you're not doing that. You can constantly tell me to stop posting stuff on social media. You can constantly tell me to stop blasting my family while all I'm doing is telling my story. You don't have to care about me. But I need for you children I need for you spirits of love and light. Care about yourself, your lineage, and the whole idea that one day your children are gonna wake up one morning and you're not gonna be there. There is nobody and nothing on this planet that's more important than that movement. You want to go and flock with all of those people who love God, that really do focus in on that. Because anybody on this planet that's making anything more important than our babies don't matter. They don't. No, they're not. No, anybody that God created is not bigger than God. And it don't matter what they talking about. And it doesn't matter how many words they use that are fancy. They're still not bigger than God, and they still cannot hurt you, because there is no weapon formed against you that shall prosper. So you bind them in the name of Jesus, and you rebuke them in the name of Jesus. And it don't matter how silly it might sound, or if you feel it, just keep on until you actually move in the area that God wants you to move. Listen to God. That's what I did, and that's what I'm doing. I'm listening to God, and I'm allowing God to order my steps. And I don't care about the opinions of everybody who chose darkness. The whole movement is to make sure that we wake up all of the lights outside, all of the spirits of love and light, just to make sure that they know what it is that they need to be doing and who it is that they need to be looking to. That's a...
Okay, well, we have to go. It was so nice of you all to join us. I appreciate you all. And it was so nice of you to come back again and share your story, because I know it's not something that's easy to do.
It's not, but it's real, and it is healing, because I've had to keep it in. And like I said, these people are more ugly to the witnesses and the victims than they are to the people who are actually offended.
Exactly.
So no, we get it.
That's normally the way it is.
Yeah.
It's going to change.
It is.
But until next time, we will be back. I'll be back. I'm not sure if I'll be back with Miss Burden, Miss Lachey, and I also have a special guest who's coming. She's actually a grief counselor, grief therapist, trauma therapist, and everything. So she'll be able to introduce herself and tell you more about her when we're back on.
Yeah.
But if you're out there and you know you've gone through this, or you know someone who has gone through it, get help. Get whatever. Talk to somebody.
Yes.
Talk to somebody. Like we were just saying, that this is something Tamika brought to me earlier. about healing out loud. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Nothing.
And there's nothing wrong with you telling your truth. Tell your truth so that other people will know that it's okay to tell theirs. That's the only way things are actually going to start to change. When we start to, because the thing about it is, as a victim, we have to take accountability also.
Yes.
Because we have a job to do as a victim.
Yeah.
A victim should, your job is not to hold the secret. Your job is to expose.
Yes.
We have to realize that God uses us all in many different ways. And not to say that that's a way anybody would choose to be used, but some choices are not ours to make. He created us for his purpose.
Yes.
And sometimes that is your purpose. That's a part of your walk. That's part of your journey. So don't be afraid to tell your story to anybody. Tell your story, share your story,
Yes.
and tell how God brought you through.
Yes.
And if you don't feel like God has brought you through yet, tell your story enough so God can actually send that help to bring you through and to pull you through.
Yes.
So until next time, we will see you again. Peace, love, and life.
That was a good one.
Look at our audience back there. Look at our audience back there.
That was a good one. That was a wrap.
And I'm assuming that it stopped because the time has stopped.
The time stopped, yeah.
But you see this.
Yeah.
Ooh, you did it.
Thank you,
You
man.
did it. You did it. Thank you.
Y'all were
Hey,
right
put your
audience.
shoes on.
But I do have a question for you and Robert. What were you guys doing in that window that y'all kept watching me? I couldn't say none at the time.
We were looking at the flies in the window.
Okay, I just want to know. I wasn't saying that y'all was doing nothing bad. I just couldn't ask y'all what y'all was doing at the time. And I could see y'all. That's what I was looking at through there.
Because they was over there doing something. All she know is you were doing something. Hold on. Yeah, Uncle Daryl's gonna be excited.
No, y'all did so good. Y'all did so good. Stay with me.